for one in Inglewood. I still think of him as Inglewood, personally. Anthony Davis getting his title, emotional. Rondo and LeBron, this was something to behold. Los Angeles Lakers take them out in 6. They were prohibitive favorites. They were like 3-1 favorites going in. Heat gave them a nice run through 5, but were no match. Actually closed it a bit at the end, but it was all garbage time in the final quarter. The Lakers have that trophy. Larry O'Brien trophy going back to L.A. for the first time since 2010. In doing so, the Lakers tied the Boston Celtics for the most in NBA history. This is the first time the two teams are tied for the most titles since way back to 1962, when they each had 5.
We'll hear from LeBron and the other victorious Lakers shortly here on SportsCenter. Right now, we bring in Tim Legler. And Tim, the Heat gave L.A. everything they had, especially Jimmy Butler in Game 5 to even force a Game 6. And you knew that LeBron would have some type of response here with another chance to win his 4th NBA title. And they did so in dominating fashion early in this game. How?
Well, Mike, when you have one team that's got by far the 2 best players in the series, you're going to have to make sure that you've got your energy, that you've got your legs under you to be able to make it difficult on the Lakers to score and not give them easy baskets early in the game. And I just thought the Miami Heat looked absolutely gassed tonight. They just didn't have the legs, and you could tell by the number of easy layups they give up early in the game, weak side cuts, catch guys falling asleep, and then these easy dribble drive layups. Rondo should not be able to blow by Jimmy Butler in that situation. He opens his shoulders, gives him an angle. Same thing here with Jay Crowder. Easy dribble drives for LeBron James, goes by Bam Adebayo the same way. So their dominance in the paint and how easy it was for them to beat their man off the dribble, get to the rim without a second-line defender, told me all I needed to know in the first half of this game, that the Miami Heat just did not have their legs under them. They were mentally and physically exhausted, and when you're playing a team like the Lakers that has the 2 best players, you've got to somehow keep your defense to find a way to keep you in the game until you start making shots. Because I know offensively they had a rough night, but if you could defensively make it difficult for the Lakers and make them take contested jump shots, at least you're in the game going into the locker room. But they just didn't have it tonight. The superior team won and did it in dominating fashion, as you said. Give them all the credit in the world because they clearly showed how they wanted it. And once they smelled a little bit of chum in that water, they knew that this was going to be their night, and they put it to them with that big second quarter run and just took the wind right out of Miami's sails.
You mentioned the 2 best players in the series, of course, LeBron James and Anthony Davis. LeBron was just named Finals MVP for the 3rd time with 3 different teams. First player in NBA history to ever win the Finals MVP with 3 different teams. And when he went to L.A., it was obvious, he said it since, that he wanted Anthony Davis to be his teammate there with the Lakers, and Rob Pelinka and Jeanie Buss, they go out and make that happen. But it's one thing, Tim, if you put 2 great players together on a squad. We saw that with the Clippers with Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. It didn't work out as well. What is it about LeBron paired with AD that makes them such a formidable pair?
Yeah, it's easy to see why LeBron James really handpicked Anthony Davis. There is not a single guy in the entire league that he could go pick that's a better complement to LeBron James. And the reason is because Anthony Davis can take advantage of LeBron's passing skills from all over the floor. He's got great versatility as a catch-and-shoot mid-range guy to play off of LeBron James. He's a guy that can run the floor, score in transition by getting easy ones. He's a guy that can go get the ball above the rim if LeBron James finds him there. So I just think the versatility of these 2 players on both ends of the floor were perfect complements in terms of their physical skill set. But then there's another dynamic to this. It's the personality type. Anthony Davis is not a guy that carries himself on the floor like he has an ego. He's a guy that can blend in and can fit in. And I just thought his personality type was also perfect for LeBron James. I think LeBron told him when he came to L.A. he would get the most out of him, and he probably also told him he would make him an NBA champion. And he came through on that promise. And I'm sitting there watching that celebration as that clock ticked down to 0, and you saw how emotional Anthony Davis was and some of the frustrations he probably felt being a guy that put up great numbers and was considered a top 5 talent in New Orleans without a lot of playoff success. to now know what it feels like to be an NBA champion. I'm sure how grateful he is to have the opportunity presented to him, and really LeBron being the driving force behind it, as well as all of those role players that played such a significant part for this team. That's what I'm saying to LeBron if I'm on that team. I'm going up and hugging him and thanking him for giving me the opportunity to be called a champion for the rest of my life, regardless of what happens for these guys going forward. So I just thought their personalities blended, their skill sets blended, and their egos blended. And that's why you had such a dominant finals performance tonight. And if these guys stay together for the next few years, this might not be the only one that you see them finish as champions.
And to clarify what I said earlier, this is the 4th NBA Finals MVP for LeBron, but he's now done it at least once with 3 different teams. Only Michael Jordan has won the NBA Finals MVP more times. He had 6. LeBron, again, has 4. Plenty more from Tim Legler throughout,
including coach and player press conferences. Welcome back into our NBA TV studios. This is Game Time live at the Finals 2020, presented by YouTube TV. I'm Kristen Ledlow, and in just a few minutes, I'll be joined by our Hall of Famers, Grant Hill, Gary Payton, Isaiah Thomas. But first, we've got to get to the latest from Orlando, as Anthony Davis is listed as probable to play in this game with a right heel contusion, but he does say he'll be fine. Coach Frank Vogel did address the injury ahead of the game.
Yeah, he's just battling through, the heel. He was struggling to move a little bit, but toughed it out. And, we'll see how he feels.
He's a warrior, man. We know the nicks and bumps and bruises he's played throughout the whole season. And, we got to pick it up for him.
He just re-aggravated and went out at the end of the first. And, just kind of just wore off and just got back to normal. Just kept moving around, just trying not to sit down. Get that adrenaline going, and I was able to keep going, keep playing.
How do you live with make or miss at this stage of the season?
I won't let a play here or a play there change my outlook on the game or how I play the game. If you just look at the play, I was able to find one of our shooters at the top of the key for a wide open 3 to win a championship. And I trusted him. We trusted him, and it just didn't go. You live with that.
And our Jared Greenberg is in the bubble covering the finals for NBA TV with our NBA champion, Steve Smith, neither of which had to unpack bags or rebook flights after Friday night, I have been told. But, guys, it looks like the Lakers have made a lineup change, huh?
That is correct. We will get to the Anthony Davis story here in a moment. But, Kristen, the breaking news, as first reported by Shams Charania of the Athletic and Stadium Committee, is that Alex Caruso is going to enter the starting lineup for the first time in the playoffs. The guard will replace Dwight Howard. Clearly, Frank Vogel sizing down. Before we get to the strategic angle of this, what does this mean? What does this signal to both the Lakers and the Heat that such a significant lineup change is being made with Caruso going in the first 5?
Well, for me, it just signals, I'm throwing out all the X's and O's, is LeBron James is saying, I'm guarding Jimmy Butler. And it might not go that way. It might be Anthony Davis, but that's what it signals to me. I've been around this game a long time. You're going to go that small with Alex Caruso. I have nothing against Alex Caruso, but when you go that small, that tells me LeBron James is guarding Jimmy Butler. Not that LeBron James can't guard Bam, and Anthony Davis on Jimmy Butler, but you're saying to me LeBron James wants to guard Jimmy Butler at some point of the game. But I really think at the start of this game, LeBron is saying, I want this matchup on both ends, and let's see who's going to win it.
You just have to wonder, though, if the Heat look at this and say, they're panicking.
Well, I think the Heat look at this is everybody has counted them out. No one thought before, even before the pandemic, we had a break that the Heat would be in the finals. You start to question and look around and say, hey, I know around the second round, I say Heat going to the finals. I got a chance to say that on Game Time. The reason why is they're tough. They're well prepared. They play a brand of basketball. It's just not high pick and rolls. There's 5 guys moving. And then also, they're the most conditioned team in this bubble, and this atmosphere is for them. If you were talking about the Lakers playing the Heat, you flying from Miami back to L.A., for their young guys that haven't been through this, to me, this goes into like this young guys, this is youth basketball. They're used to this. There's no crowd. There's no flying around. There's not that many distractions for these young guys.
So let's get into the X's and O's of this. What does Caruso, you obviously said the matchups here, but what does this do for this game in terms of the Lakers going small?
I think for them is they want to get out in transition. I mean, they got back to it last game, but they lost that game, and they want to play faster. They want to look and say, we want to play downhill. We're going to have 3 or 4 guys trying to play downhill, and that's what it looks at for me from an X's and O's standpoint, offensively for the Lakers. But on the defensive end, I'm going to go back. I can't wait to see the start of this game. It is saying LeBron James saying, hey, Jimmy, it's me versus you throughout this entire game, and that's what we want to see.
It'll be interesting because in this matchup, LeBron either now has to guard Jimmy or he has to guard Bam Adebayo. Do the Heat try and get LeBron James into foul trouble?
Well, I think Jimmy Butler plays his game. I mean, I look at what he's been doing. He's been playing downhill. He's averaging, I think, 23 drives, 25 drives a game since game 1. The next closest guy is LeBron at only at 11. So Jimmy Butler's mindset has to stay the same. We all understand LeBron James is a great player, but one-on-one, if he's got his way a little bit in that last game against Anthony Davis, he figured it out. He's not going to change. He's going to still play downhill, and they're going to still have motion.
Real quick, any concern about the heel for Anthony Davis?
I hope not. I hope, I'm not a doctor. I hope he's okay because I can tell you one thing. If you're the Miami Heat, you really don't care. If he steps on that court, he's 100%.
Right. All right. Well, we'll have much more coming up here from Orlando. I'll have a chat with both Frank Vogel and Eric Spoelstra. Smitty will continue to break down ahead of this Game 6 as we send it back to Atlanta and Kristen Ledlow.
Thanks, guys. We'll talk to you soon. And as promised, our Hall of Famers, Grant Hill, Gary Payton, Isaiah Thomas, and another opportunity for LeBron James in a closeout scenario with Game 5 becoming the first in the